What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Now, before we get into the topic of today's video, I would like to mention that I am currently hosting a $100 giveaway. I announced it a few days ago in my gemming spree for the clone spell, where I spent $100 trying to get the clone spell. So if you're interested in entering this $100 giveaway, 10 winners will be picked in just a few days. Make sure you guys go head over to this video right here to learn how to enter. But now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Now, today we have quite a bit of info to go over today about Clash Royale and the next update that's going to be coming to Clash Royale. Today on Twitter, they announced that there is going to be a brand new balance change coming very soon. In about 3 days, on the 15th of December, there are going to be these balance changes right here, and we will go over those later on in the video. However, there is something much more important to talk about right now. So take a look at your screens right now, and I'm going to go ahead and put up a picture of a brand new arena that might have been leaked from the next update. Now, there's also an entire Reddit article about the possibility of this leak, so if you guys would like to go ahead and check that out, I'll leave the link in the description below. Now, to me, this does look like a pretty cool jungle themed arena, and I'm not exactly sure how many trophies it would be at, because the writing is in Chinese and I can't tell what arena it would be. However, right now in Clash Royale, we do have the Legendary Arena at 3,000 trophies, and we also have the Frozen Peak Arena at 2,300 trophies. So there's quite a bit of a difference between 2,300 and 3,000 trophies, considering all the other arenas jump between about 300 and 400 trophies, Builder's Workshop at 1,700, and then Royal Arena 300 trophies later. And of course, 300 trophies before Arena 6, we had Arena 5, which is the Spell Valley, at 1,400. So up until the Frozen Peak Arena, most of the arenas jump between 300 and 400 trophies until you get to Arena 8, and of course, it's a 700 gap between that and Arena 9. So there is a possibility that this arena could be between Arena 8 and Arena 9. Considering there is a 700 gap, it would probably place the new arena at either 2,600 or 2,700 trophies. And then of course at 3,000 trophies, you'd be entering into the Legendary Arena. But there's also a possibility of this arena being above 3,000 trophies after the Legendary Arena being the next Arena 10. Now, the Legendary Arena hasn't always been the highest arena in the game. At first it was the Royal Arena, and then they added the Legendary Arena and then put the Frozen Peak under that. Now, don't get me wrong, this new arena does look really cool, but I'm not exactly sure if it would replace the Legendary Arena as the highest arena in the game. But eventually we will need to either raise the cap on the trophy requirement for a Legendary Arena up to like 36 or maybe 3,800 trophies, and then put a new arena at 3,000, keeping Legendary Arena the highest but raising it by a few hundred trophies. So obviously there are a bunch of possibilities about where a new arena would go on the trophy count. Let me know your guys' opinion on where you think a new arena would best be fit, and how you feel about the possibility of this being the brand new arena. Like I said, I think it looks pretty cool, however I don't think it would overtake the Legendary Arena, so they will most likely be putting it at either 2,700 or 2,600 trophies. However, this arena has not been confirmed. Right now it's still an update leak, and it could not even be true. We could be wasting our time, but it does look pretty legit to me. However, now that we have talked about this new arena leak, let's go ahead and check out some of the new balance changes that are coming to Clash Royale. These balance changes will be coming, like I said, in 3 days on December 15th, and they're going to start off by buffing the Elite Barbarians by quite a bit. Supercell stated that they kind of underestimated these troops on the date of the release, making them a little too weak, and now they're going to give them quite a bit of a buff. So the Elite Barbarians are going to come out in a few days with a hit points increase of 19%, a damage increase of 14%, and a hit speed reduction to 1.4 seconds from 1.5 seconds. So hopefully this will make the Elite Barbarians just a little bit more used in the game right now, because I actually haven't seen any at all in a real battle since the cards came out. Next up, we have the Tornado, which will get a radius increase of 10%, making it a lot bigger, pulling more troops with a much stronger pulling power. Definitely another needed buff for one of the new cards. The Tornado really hasn't been used much since its release, and hopefully this will go ahead and help it out a little bit. We also have the Infernal Dragon receiving a hit points buff of 5%, and now it also actually retargets troops almost half a second quicker. Now, I have used the Infernal Dragon quite a bit. I had a really good Grand Challenge deck with the Infernal Dragon, and although it is a really good card, I definitely thought it could be a little bit better. So hopefully this buff will help out the Infernal Dragon. Next up, we have the Balloon, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this buff just yet. The Balloon is definitely a strong card if you can't counter it or it gets to your tower. However, not a lot of people use it, and that's probably what they're trying to fix right here. With this buff, they are going to give it a death damage increase of 105%, basically doubling the current death damage, and the death damage explosion radius will also increase by 50%. So they're not messing with the hit points or the damage, all they're really doing is messing with the death damage, hoping that this means that more players will use the Balloon. Next up, we have the Wizard on the list, and his hit speed is going to be decreased to 1.4 seconds from 1.6 seconds, and the Wizard's initial attack will come 0.2 seconds slower. So not too much of a buff and not really a nerf either. Nothing too special there, but next up we have the Giant Skeleton with a damage increase of 8%, most likely allowing it to get through some goblins easier, which is a pretty popular counter to the Giant Skeleton. After that, we have a Lumberjack buff with a hit points increase of 6%. We also have a Bomber buff with a damage increase of 4%, and a very unfortunate Mortar buff with a Boulder explosion radius increased by 11%. Not exactly sure how necessary that was. I really don't want to see any more Siege decks, including the Mortar in the Expo. So hopefully this doesn't bring the Mortar back into the game, but it probably will. And we also have a level 8 mirror will now create max level +1 cards again. Doesn't affect me because I don't have any level 8 epics, and I won't channel for a very long time, but I guess that's just for the top players and people that have maxed out cards. So there you have it, all the brand new balance changes coming to Clash Royale in just a few days, and the possibility of a brand new arena which hasn't been confirmed yet, but it is an update leak. So let me know your guys' opinions on all of this down in the comment section below, and if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button as well. If you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe for more Clash Royale content. Make sure, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you guys go ahead and check out my gemming spree for the clone spell to enter that giveaway. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.